Well, we tease you a lot, Luke, but I want to take everybody back to 1993 because this was an incredible moment in tennis history. Luke and Murphy Jensen in the process of winning the French Open.
Well, we were unseeded in this specific match. It was in the quarterfinals. Remember the old bull ring at the Roland Garros? And this was against Goran Ivanisevic and Henri Leconte. And it was just truly amazing right from the warm-up, where whenever Murphy and I would hit a ball in the warm-up, they'd boo us and cheer Leconte and Ivanisevic. And we ended up winning this match in 3 sets. And it was just amazing, and the shot making and everything. But we were unseeded coming into this. We had nothing to lose, but this was a dream of ours to play professional tennis together growing up as kids, and a magic day, a magic 2 weeks.
It actually was a defining moment in doubles, I think, because you guys took the success of this title and turned it into a whole almost industry and a whole other newfound attention on doubles. I mean, it was amazing the attention you brought to doubles.
Well, we were very fortunate to grow up in a very small community in Michigan where it was about fun. It wasn't about results. You weren't going to be a professional tennis player. The closest indoor tennis court from Ludington, Michigan was 60 miles away. So it wasn't like you were playing every single day. We played all the different sports. And it was all based around fun. So when we started playing at a high level, that that love for competition was always there. And so whenever we played, high-fiving the fans and high-fiving and chest bumping each other was always part of it.
Speaking of love, you two are loved all across the world of tennis. And we had a very traumatic event happen in late October with your brother Murphy. Can you kind of take us through that?
Yeah, I just taken a position as director of racket sports at the Garden of the Gods Resort in Colorado Springs, Colorado, one of the most beautiful places on earth. And Pikes Peak is there, the Kissing Camels is there, a beautiful facility with indoors and outdoor courts. And the first person I call for any big event is my brother. Let's have the Jensen brothers come out and really have a fun time with the membership and the tennis community in Colorado Springs. And so on October 29th, the day before Murphy's 53rd birthday, we're playing an exhibition in doubles. He's serving to me, and he's smiling because we're talking a little trash and having fun. He's smiling at me, and all of a sudden, all the power goes out. His eyes close, and he falls back and hits his head, and he goes into cardiac arrest. Now, fortunately, with the people that were in the crowd, a few hundred people in the crowd, there were off-duty medical professionals, first responders and things, and right behind me, 20 feet away, was a defibrillator in facility. So we lost him 4 times on the court. They brought him back to life. The ambulance came. He lost his life once again. We lost him another time in that ambulance before he got to the hospital, before they could really stabilize him. But he's been in recovery since to get himself back. It's the concussion part that's been very difficult. He cracked his head in a few different places. And so fortunately, because they are able to get to him within seconds, they were able to get the blood to the brain, they were able to get oxygen to the brain, and they saved his life.
Well, not only did they save his life, I mean, he's a medical miracle, and he's with us now. We have the one and only Murphy Jensen. Hello, Murphy, looking good. So how are you, my friend?
I'm doing amazing. I'm here in Vancouver, British Columbia, watching you and Luke and the ESPN DirecTV every night, and having a ball, enjoying the Australian Open, and recovering from my sudden cardiac arrest.
How do you feel right now?
You know, I feel blessed beyond measure, to be honest with you. You know, it's rarefied air. In so many words, tennis saved my life, and the people at that event at the Garden of the Gods Resort, and you know, hearing Luke describe what had happened, you know, I am having a moment, and to be able to see you and anyone in this moment. You know, I have a 4-year-old and a 22-year-old, and a beautiful wife, and a life that totally worth living. And I'm going to tell you, how am I feeling? I'm back on the tennis court, and I'm going to tell you what Luke didn't tell you is I was about to serve about 23 aces on him in that exhibition match. And who knows what he put in my water. He is the director of tennis there. No. Yeah. I'm over the moon.
Well, yeah, Murphy, it's I'm sorry that you had to go through that traumatic event, but one of the blessings out of it probably is you discovering just how much love there is out there for you. I mean, you heard from some very distinguished people, and they were all very concerned about you. And I know that's got to have been very gratifying to just know where you stand with so many people.
Well, wasn't sure I was going to bring this up, but I might as well. I'm someone in long-term recovery from substance use disorder. And 22 years ago, when I was asked if I was willing and I needed help, I got some help. And I felt there was nothing worth living for. And it was the end of the road as far as I knew it. And I felt alone and afraid and terrified. And 22 years later, as someone that walks the walk and lives this life in recovery from SUD, which has totally supported my recovery from the cardiac arrest and the concussions and falling and hitting my head. I'm humbled beyond measure, and gratitude isn't a big enough word to describe where I'm at today. So, this morning, I'd like to keep my answers brief, but this morning, I got direct messaged, speaking of the tennis world and the beautiful people, from Andre Agassi, my old junior doubles partner, to Roger Federer and beyond. People in finance and healthcare and technology were reaching out to me, showing their support. It's a big difference from 22 years ago. But this morning, the direct message was from a gentleman who's a doctor in Pennsylvania. And he said he was at a junior tennis tournament, a USTA junior tennis tournament, and a gentleman went down with sudden cardiac arrest, and amongst the junior players. And he did what people did for me. He fractured. He ended up performing compression, CPR, and was scrambling for a defibrillator. And unfortunately, this gentleman passed away. And I wrote him right back, and let's get after this, and let's get more defibrillators to more tennis courts, and to ensure that this doesn't happen. What's ironic is, for the past 12 or 13 years, Luke and I have been participating in the Gooter Foundation, and it's an event that's raising a lot of money and making sure that defibrillators. This is something that can be. This is a life-saving opportunity, and then it happens. I can't say what happened, but a lot of athletes suffer from cardiac arrest.
Yeah, what's amazing, Sam, is, being bedside with him while he was in the ICU in a coma, the amount of, amazing outpouring from the tennis world. Specifically, we talk about this ESPN team from the top all the way down. They were right there with you, Murph, the whole time. And then one of the funny things, Johnny Mack said, had just played with you like a week before and was saying, I should have told you. Murphy was out of breath and he just wasn't in good shape. I should have told you. I said, that's funny. Mac, he said that about you, that you were out of shape. And so it's amazing how the tennis world, near and far from around the world, just respects you, Murphy, and what you've done. Your biggest shot in tennis was a serve, your big first serve, and now your calling is to serve others. And it's just extraordinary how this journey has come from just a couple of kids from a Christmas tree farm and a dirt road in Ludington, Michigan, to what you're doing now, helping others and find a better way, a better path.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about specifically what Murphy's involved in, but just from a tennis aspect, I've been in a room with you in a studio when Bob and Mike Bryan have come in, no cameras are rolling, and they've said, Luke, you and Murphy were the reason we're here. I mean, you and Murphy changed doubles, and if it weren't for what you two did, the attention you brought to this category of tennis called doubles, maybe Bob and Mike Bryan never would have become what they became. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Murphy, you can talk about that, but for me, it's one of the neatest things that you could be as a player, as a role model for the next generation. And it wasn't forehands and backhands, and it wasn't, we won one major, they won over 20. They're the greatest doubles team of all time. But it was the spirit and the love to give back to the game consistently on and off the court that, to me, is the best thing with the Bryan brothers.
Well, my role model is my brother, and he's my hero and will always be. And I can say his example of how to treat people made all the difference. I mean, what we did on a tennis court is small compared to how he showed me as the little brother how to behave properly and treat people right and be where my feet are.
All right, Murphy, we're going to continue this conversation a little bit later. I can say, because I have the final word, I have a brother. I'm close to him. But you two are the most like twins, not to be twins, that I've ever met. And I don't mean physically. Obviously, you kind of look alike now. But you guys are so close. If Murphy's not feeling well, Luke's not feeling well. If Murphy's happy, Luke is happy. And I've just been so inspired to see the connection between you two and how you are really the patriarchs of your family. There's not a day that goes by when we're on this set I don't talk to one of Luke's nieces or nephews or sister or someone in his family, and it's been a privilege just knowing the Jensen family. But we're going to talk to Murphy a little bit later, and we're so blessed to have you with us a little bit longer, Murphy. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Sam.